told me that did my calling. I keep that stick, I don't do no brawling. Open out the doors and let them all in here. Yeah, they all in here. Ooh, big dog. We come out the pound, so we big dog. Heavy paddock on it, break my wrist off. I'm young out of rocket, about to lead dog. 3, 2, 1, I got big dog status, I'm a big dog bet. I pull up on the block in a big Corvette. Yeah, riding around the field with a stick all black. Try with a stroke, we ain't with all that. Yeah, big dog status, I'm a big dog bet. I pull up on the block in a big Corvette. Yeah, riding around the field with a stick all black. Try with a stroke, we ain't with all that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Jigs, fall in line. Yeah. We got sticks like it's Columbine. Yeah. Running up the dollar signs. Yeah. Ain't no hiding from them hollow cans. Yeah. Bring up like the Taliban. That's my paper, don't you bottom mine. Yeah. Heavy paddock on me, break my wrist off. Yeah. Lift off. I got big dog status, I'm a big dog bet. I pull up on the block in a big Corvette. Yeah. Riding around the field with a stick all black. Try with a stroke, we ain't with all that. Yeah. Big dog status, I'm a big dog bet. I pull up on the block in a big Corvette. Yeah. Riding around the field with a stick all black. Try with a stroke, we ain't with all that. Yeah. Big dog status, I'm a big dog bet. I pull up on the block in a big Corvette. Yeah, riding around the field with a stick all black. Try with a stroke, we ain't with all that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Made $1 million and I can't go back. Got a lot of jewelry on me, can't go back. Well, ask them better, tell them that I ain't so crack. Oh, your money low,
Hello,
oh, your
hello,
can't afford that. I'm ballin'.
Wednesday.
My mama told me that did my calling. I keep that stick, I don't do no brawling. Open out the doors and let them all in.
There we go. All right, so it's Sunday. Not a ton of information for me just yet, but I kind of know what I want to see going into Monday, Tuesday. Plus, just real quick, I'm gonna bounce around a little bit. So from what I'm seeing, is this all okay? Cool. So from what I'm seeing, we have this area here and here. I mean, kind of here, more so up there, I would say, and then here, and that is what we're coming into over here. So in my eyes, we're gonna need some sort of catalyst or reason to more than just technical of just pushing up or down. We're gonna need something to push us above that level, because this is a monthly level and we were stuck there for 4 or 5 months there. We kind of did a nice retest, had a really strong support above it, really strong resistance here for 2 months to the left as well. And every time we get above or below this level, price moves, as we can see. We get above, we move up. We get it down, get below, we move down. We get below, we come down, we respect it. So for me, kind of what I'm thinking or what I'd like to see, if it does it sooner, great. But if we kind of, with NFP being on Friday, right here, I'm seeing that could be our catalyst for getting GJ above here, because we do have the end of the month closing in 3 days. So I'm seeing that if we're not above here before NFP, because I'm expecting Thursday, maybe even Wednesday, we might get a little push at like NY, NYC. But then I've seen price tend to range after, it either starts ranging Wednesday after NY or NYC, and then otherwise it ranges on Thursday going into Friday. So if we do that and we don't get above this area specifically before that, I would expect news to then push us above here, ideally. Otherwise, if we do close here, then just kind of a retest here, and then next weekly or monthly candle will probably get us above. But for this week, I'd like to see the month close above here, because then we can kind of trade next to this here for the next month or two, or however long that lasts, or a few months, and that would be much nicer instead of waiting another month to close above here. But either way, that's kind of what I'm looking at for us to get above here. I'm thinking if we don't for NFP, that'll be a good catalyst to push us above, and then have the monthly close, which I believe is Friday. That says 3 days, but Friday is the new month. So we'll see. That would actually fine up and have to be a day early, but I guess we'll see where we end up. So, but obviously for me, for the week, I'm looking for buys. That's it. No sells. Let's go to the weekly. These are kind of levels I had from the previous weeks. We look at the daily, so we can kind of see over here. This is that monthly area. Also weekly, but this is the monthly levels we're kind of looking at to get above, because then we have clean traffic. And then if we look on the daily or the weekly, we also have this move here to trade next to on the weekly up to here, and then a minor level there, and then more nice moves up there, more nice. So this area is a little iffy for me. I like to be above here for some nicer buys, but we'll just be watching that. And then looking at right now, we finally closed outside of range we had here for a very long time, months I think. So, and the weekly gapped up a little bit. I'm expecting a pullback regardless. And the daily is kind of where I'm expecting the pullback. So I see the weekly. If we do come back down to here, obviously we need to respect this low to stay outside of this range we have here at 158 to 149-ish. We need to stay above here, so I think we can potentially retest these wicks and then go back up. But looking at the daily, I'm thinking we're going to be ending up around here. So these are the levels I waited to do this to mark. But this is kind of where I see more higher probability of price kind of hitting here and then pushing back up, because we're in this daily range. So it could tap down and then go back up, but we get a nice long wick and the daily comes back, closes up. Yeah, fine. Either way, but more ideally, I'm expecting a pullback to here, and then we push back to the top of this daily range, break the top of the daily range, and then start to continue moving up. So we got this daily here, and then this is just we're just in a range right now on the daily. So we have a nice candle here going up, looking left on the weekly. Got a potential wick to fill, but this is just kind of lots of rejection up here. So you just want to make sure you have a target. So like when you're on the smaller time frames, what I'm going to be looking for is we're going to want to see, even if we pull back and this that I'm about to draw is actually occurring here or anywhere, whatever, doesn't matter, even up here, whatever, wherever it's occurring, wherever it's occurring for the 30-minute 1 hour, you're going to want to have that smaller time frame target to aim at, just because we are inside of, at least for me, we're inside of weekly, daily wicks. So I'm going to want it to be really nice traffic to trade next to. Kind of like last week, I didn't want to really trade in here, so we were kind of above and then retesting it. So that's kind of what I'm looking for there. So the daily, looking for potential pullback to here. If we respect support, beautiful. Take it back up to the high on the daily, and then maybe leave a runner, see what happens. So 4 hour, that kind of lines up with my 4 hour level as well. So the 4 hour support that I think we should be respecting. If we do just push up and we don't end up pulling back, making a wick, great. And we're going to look for entries above there once we create a high and pull back. So it'll be once we get above, pull back, look for that, and then take it back to the high once we get bullish closes, just like we had here, start of the week. High, pull back, target the high. Same thing here, we had a little minor resistance form, another higher low. got above there, target there, pull back here, target there. So same thing here. If we do get above, if you want to take entries, depending on whatever you look at, once we get above the high, we should have a little bit of a move up. But for me, the better move will be to let it go up wherever it goes. If it goes above here that we were talking about on the weekly, monthly, even better. Because then we know we got some really strong volume to start pushing those candles to the left. Because this whole area here is kind of stronger resistance on the weekly, monthly area. But we're moving bullish. Definitely want to be looking for buys. But once we get above here, we're going to want to see wherever we end up. We're going to wait for that pullback, just like here, and then target there once we have a bullish close on whatever time frame you're looking at. If the 4 hour is not bullish, you might want to wait till it is, or wait till structure changes on the 1 hour to kind of tell you that the 4 hour is going to be more than likely closing bullish. So that's it for there. Been at the 1 hour. This is kind of the week split for me here. Start of the week, last week. I was there, obviously everything, buys. I had some entries that worked out pretty nicely for buys for the week. So looking here, I mean, time is it? 5:30. Definitely nothing to be looked at least from my perspective. Still, we have one 4 hour candle close because, I mean, if you can't wait for that first 4 hour of the week to start and close, man, I don't even know. It's good information to know, because if this comes and closes bearish and you're not necessarily a trend trader, you're okay with scalping. I mean, because if we do get under here, I mean, we could potentially fall down another 50 pips. There might be an issue here with this wick here. So they're probably safe bet. I mean, you got 50 pips down maybe if you want to look at it, but for me, there's really nothing. We're just kind of in the middle of working our way to test the high that we didn't fully test on Friday. And then once we test it and get above it, preferably, and wait for pullback. So 1 hour, I guess 1 hour zones. Only thing I'm really seeing that I like, maybe this area, just kind of holding support, but it's so early in the week. Monday's usually my information day, so Monday really sets up kind of the levels that are important, especially on the 1 hour time frame, because it kind of sets and tells you like, okay, we're gonna hold structure that we've been holding. This is kind of our main support. If we return there, okay, and we respect, buys should be good. If we create a high, then we know to wait for a pullback. So Monday really sets up what I'm looking for the week. So if we go to last week, so here, this was Monday, short-term sells, but then once Monday comes through and this move here happens on Monday, and then Asian also respects it, Monday was like, okay, all this little bearish, I mean, if you want to draw a trend line, I guess you can, whatever, broke structure, and we continued up in the obvious uptrend. If we look at it, all 3 weeks have been nothing but buys. So this week, kind of this one ranged, but we can see we got a bottom there, and then we were going up, not even looking at structure or candles, just price going up or down. So if we start here, price went up, buys. Start here, go to here, that one's just ridiculously obvious buys. Here to here, buys. So this little bit, when we zoom in, looking at this here, then zooming in, at least for me, this is what I found to work pretty good for what I like to see. This doesn't look significant at all. But if you do take those kind of stuff, you're really limiting your target. Definitely want to manage that one a lot tighter, in my opinion. So that's why I'm saying for sells here, you're going to want to be careful, because we kind of had an issue here, kind of reflects here and here, where we changed structure to continue our buys on Friday. There's also an issue here, here. So it's definitely a strong area if you were to sell kind of under here, down to here. I mean, you got a little bit, but it's just too early in the week for me to give any good trade ideas yet. So I'm probably going to send another one. We'll be ending this pretty soon. I'll just kind of recap the idea for what I'm looking at for the week. But for now, no entry ideas yet, because there's no trades I would take, so I'm not going to say like, oh, this could work or this could work. But what I'm going to wait for, 4 hour and daily. So daily close on Monday will also be important. What's up, Phil? GA? No, I'm not going to look at GA. Just GJ. Sorry. I don't trade GA so anymore. I traded it a little bit a long time ago, but the past year and a half has just been strictly GJ. I think I did a gold trade or two and then just strictly GJ. So that's the only thing I'm going to really try to give any advice on. So, but basically all I'm looking for Monday is either pullback, respect support, close bullish, take it back to the top of the range, close it, leave a runner. We continue like I would expect for the week, like we have been for 3 weeks. Great, maybe runners play out, but buys kind of in this area is what I'm looking at. Definitely whatever I do, preferably depending on how it sets up, it'll either be based on like a 4-hour bullish close, targeting the top of the range. As long as like if we break structure completely and we get a bullish 4-hour close down here, then no, definitely not. It needs to be above this daily zone here, kind of inside of these daily wicks. So look at the daily bullish 4-hour close in here, underneath here. Still keeping in the back of your mind that we can, and more than likely will, if we retest here, we'll be respecting it because that is an insanely strong level. Continuing back up. Once we pull back down here, this smaller time frame structure is going to be bearish. Even though looking at the weekly and the monthly, we're still bullish. If we're looking to enter on the 30 and the 1 hour, we need that structure to also line up with this structure and then the 4-hour structure. So everything's kind of on our side. So if we do pull down to here, I'll just wait for a change in structure on the 4-hour or the daily or 1 hour, depending on the times, but probably the 4-hour if we get to here, and then we're going to buy it back up to the high. But preferable first plan, that's kind of the secondary plan. The first plan, I guess we'll say, is a pullback to here, bullish close on the 4-hour, take it back to the top of the range, and then leave a runner, whatever. Or option 2, and we'll say that one's kind of option 3, whatever. Just if that happens, there's a plan. If we get under here, I don't think we will, but if we do, got an idea for whatever we're going to do down there. But option 2, if we don't pull back and we just go up because that bullish breakout was so strong and we're just going to go, great, that works. Then we just wait for me, whoever, pull up, pull down, whether it pulls down in there or it pulls down to here, or it goes all the way up and pulls down to here, whatever. Exactly what I'm looking for is exactly what happened last week. Push up. There's entries. Target there. Once we create the high above the previous, pull back there, target there. That's pretty much it for what I'm looking for. So same thing, pull up wherever. Once we get that pullback and the close on the 4-hour, because if you don't have a 4-hour close, a 4-hour bullish close, then it's just not 1 hour structure change, maybe, but whatever time frame has the cleanest candle. So you can see that's kind of how I base the pullbacks that are the highest probability for me is the clean candles. So price goes up really nice, comes back really nice. If I flip to the 30-minute, we're going to see this move up was obviously bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish, pullback, bullish, bearish. It was just left and right. So in terms of finding the best entry, whatever time frame has the cleanest candles is going to be what you want to wait for. So like here on this one, when this one was forming, the probability was going to get better once this 4-hour closed bullish and respected this area over here, which it did. And then we could continue back to the high in an uptrend. But with this 4-hour closing bearish like this, you wouldn't want to take. Let me see if I can find it. Well, that'll be about 4 a.m. So granted, this one worked, but you did kind of have to sit through it. So we had the bearish close on the 4-hour, right? And then one bullish 30-minute with this 4-hour closing like this. For me, that's just not enough. Once it changes structure, okay, now you're kind of now you got a better chance. So But as you can see, the easiest, the least stressful trade was 4-hour or 30-minute once we changed structure. I believe was Friday. Yeah, I took that one from there to there, whatever. 1 hour's worked out as well. And then I saw a lot of people, they took some stuff kind of up here, which, perfect. It was all buys anyway. But whatever time frame has the cleanest candles is kind of the idea you want to look for. So like if we're looking at this right here coming into Friday and you don't look at those 4-hour daily, weekly, monthly, you might be seeing this as, okay, let's get some sells. All right, we got a low, we got a lower high. We can tell we rejected resistance. Whatever you're looking at, we can maybe take it down. Probably not. I'm going to want to be more selective with those counter trend trades. Same thing here. We got a bearish 30-minute, 4 hours bearish, right? We look like we could flip. We had a nice bearish 4-hour close. Beautiful. We had this pullback. We got the 30-minute closing bearish, wick to fill. And then once we're under here, we got a nice traffic to trade next to. Cool, that could work out, right? But price never really broke the lows. So we never had any more confirmation to go up or down. And what I've noticed for GJ specifically with the way it moves, if you want to eliminate a lot of losses, if this candle was an entry for you, whatever, price is moving down right here. I can see how someone who hasn't watched it for 2 or 3 years could see that could be. I think I've taken those entries in the past and obviously lost. But once it cracks the lows right there, if you I learned this about a month ago, or I started to really see it. We'll say not learned it, but I started to notice it. Once it cracks those lows or cracks the highs, just watch how price moves, because you're going to see how much stronger it is when it does crack those lows or those highs. You get lots of volume. So during the session, so if you're trading it from like 5 a.m. to, let's say, kind of 8:30, maybe 9 o'clock is the cutoff for what I'm looking at for any sort of impulse entries. Anything after that, you definitely want to be waiting for a close. Even sometimes during, you want to wait for, if it's a really strong range, like something like here, you want to wait for a close. But if it's just a couple candles like that, those impulse ones work as long as you're with the trend. But you'll notice if you watch it, once it breaks those lows or those highs, volume comes in. Like here, once we got above, like we had a move here up to here, that took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles for us to get up to there. Once we got above, we had much stronger candles. Same thing here, these candles here, once we got above, stronger candles. I mean, looking at it after the fact, it's obviously going to work, but watch it throughout the week. Once we get above here, probably even here, you can see stronger candles if we get above there, and a stronger move up, which is just easier trading. So Nathan, any books? Books. Yeah, I got a lot of books. Let me find my library. So for trading, at least the best, I liked Naked Forex. That one was really good. I guess one of my favorite ones would be The Art of Currency Trading by Brent Donnelly. It's on Amazon. It's like $32. That one's really good. One Good Trade. I haven't read that one yet, but the reviews I read, they looked pretty dope, pretty good. And the summary of the book I really liked as well. I thought there was one more that I really liked. I've got like 4 or 5 that I've gotten that were like 100 or 200, maybe 300 pages, and they were meh. They were fine. It was just kind of repetition on what you already know, I guess, but there's a series of books, somebody that makes them all, and they're just all really, really good. I'm just trying to find the name of it. I think it's like Willie something. Yeah. No. Donnelly. I think this one. Yep, so the Wiley, here I'll type it in. It's the Wiley Trading. Where'd it go? Really? Wiley trading book. There's he's got a lot of good stuff. Wiley trading book. He's got like a series. There's like, well, this one says book 373, so there is lots and lots of stuff that he has, technical, fundamental, everything. It's all pretty good. But what are we cruising at? 30 minutes. All right, I'm gonna get ready to wrap this up. Any last questions? I guess you got about a minute. I'm just gonna run through the plan real quick. Naked Forex started. Yeah, I didn't start with that one, but I really liked that one. There was it was really good. The support and resistance and the candlesticks they talk about in there, they're pretty good. I liked it. Really like a good way to get a different perspective on stuff. But plan one last time. Pull up, wait for a high to get created, pull back, target the high, pull back, reject support, buy support, send it back up to the high. If we have clean candles, that is. So that's pretty much it. Once Monday's done, either Monday or Tuesday, we'll go live again about 5:30, 6:30-ish, in between there, and just kind of do an updated outlook based on the levels. Because like I said, Monday really, I don't do a whole lot. I don't do anything Sunday, and I think in the past 4 weeks I've taken one trade on a Monday. Just because Monday sets up my levels for me, based on it either sets up my levels based on what is going to be a strong support or resistance we need to get above or stay above, or get above or stay above or stay below, whatever. Or it sets the direction. So if we're kind of rangy, Monday usually pushes up and breaks it, or pushes down and breaks it. Or if it doesn't and it stays in the range, then it just kind of confirms that those levels are still significant. So that is it. Let's plan on Monday or Tuesday. I'll send an update in the community part of the channel. So let's plan for Monday or Tuesday, depending on what we do, for a updated outlook on kind of what we can plan for the week. But yeah, that's all. Thanks everyone for coming out. And last week's, I apologize. I was on vacation looking at our wedding venue, so I was not able to send that chart like I said I would on Sunday, because there was just no internet for me to do anything, or time to even mark up a chart. I didn't get to do anything till Monday morning. So, but back home, everything should be regular, and I'll try to get 2 or 3 streams out this week to just kind of keep you guys updated. No trading or anything like that, just strictly analysis, maybe a tiny bit of fundamental stuff, depending on what goes on, if anything crazy happens in the world. But yeah, that's it. I will see you guys tomorrow or Tuesday at the latest, and then probably again Wednesday or Thursday.